Okay, here we are. It's just turned 7:30 and I'm waiting for my incremental backup to start. You can see that I have backups running every half an hour. You can see through the dashboard now, it'll automatically load. Again, this will all happen behind the scenes, but since I have all of the windows up, we're ready to go. I have in the upper left corner the Windows Task Manager showing any network activity. Since it's all internal, it should be zero, but we're going to verify that. I also have Core Temp running, so you'll see the CPU loads and temperatures. I have my Veil properties for all server backups there, and then you can see again with the dashboard. So it shows it's preparing to back up. Now, since this is 7:30 in the morning and I haven't made any file changes, we're looking for basically like a zero resource load type of backup. So keep an eye on the numbers and we'll kind of walk through this. It's preparing for the backup in progress 1725. It's probably doing something similar to what it does before, which is look at the information and then write, look at the information and then write. 50%, 75%, 100%. So in just about a minute, it has gone through and made the backup. Now you can see I had a little bit of a blip here. Now this is half of 1%, so this network is nothing. So I don't at this time anticipate any type of network interference with how it works. Also, because the data is going off to one of the other drives, you shouldn't have too much stuttering or, if at all, with any of playback issues during these backups. You can see my resources went briefly a little bit high, and you can see my backups are now complete. So let's close these out and let's look a little bit more involved with the backups. Now, the backup here isn't refreshed. You can see it says 7 o'clock. So let me just double click back on here and you can see we have a 7:30 backup. When I double click on that, it actually gives me all of the information showing it backed up, the operating system, my D and my F drive. Okay, those are the different drives that I have with data on them, and those back up to my other drive. Let's look here for just a moment. Let's look at server folders and hard drives. And you can see that I have my system drive, what's left of my system drive, which they call the F drive. And you can see that I have my D drive available. Now, my D drive is a 1 terabyte drive. And you can see I have redundant. Now, my redundant is a 1 terabyte drive that I'm using to back up my C, my F, and my D drives. So this means that every half an hour, all of my data is secure. So at any given time, if I lose either my C, my F, or my D, I have all of my data available. So this is a great way to counteract the loss of any previous tools such as Drive Extender and folder duplication. You can also see that I have my 3 terabyte drive in here ready to go, and we'll talk a little bit more in the future about how that goes. But again, my C, my F, and my D drive are backed up every half an hour to my redundant drive. Now let's look again a little bit more at how it works. This is a list of all of the different backups that happen every half an hour. You can see here that I take a break from midnight until 2 o'clock. The reason I do that is because I don't want to have any interference with the processes that are running for any backups that are happening with my client computers. If you have interference that runs with a file transfer, for example, like last night at 7 o'clock, I was doing a video and I was working on file transfers on it. When you double click on this, you'll see that my F drive did not back up successfully. Now this happens because it's already in use and you can't back up files that are in use, so it did not back up my F drive. It's important that you know that. Now, however, at 7:30, it went through and it did do the backup and backed up all the information. And this list should stay current and the bottom ones will drop off. So at any given time, if I come in and find out that my drive died at 5:59, for example, I can go back to my 5:30 a.m. restore. Okay, here we are. I'm doing the videos out of order, but what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a backup when I've incrementally changed my videos folder. I've added 10.3 gigabytes worth of data, 14 video files that were downsampled from my Zune. They're Star Trek files that I would typically keep on my server. And we're going to see what kind of loads the server handles while backing up 10.3 gigabytes worth of data during a backup. Again, you're probably not going to have this amount of data during a backup because I'm doing it every half an hour, as I talked about before. But it's possible that you may have got some videos in there and that they were maybe transcoding or moving over from your server at that time. So we're waiting for the backup to start. Keep an eye on the lower right-hand corner about the time. Again, they start every half an hour. So this started about 9 o'clock and 15 or 20 seconds. It takes a few seconds to start up. And now you can see just as talking, it's already at 50%. So I'll go and speed up the tape here. But again, we're only a minute into it and we're halfway done with it. So we'll see when the file copies and what happens. We're now at 32 times, 3, 2, 1, and we're back to real time. So we're going to be 9:03. It's 75%, 100%, and we're going to turn 9:04 exactly. And we're done with our backups. Again, 10.3 gigabytes, 14 files. They're video files. Pretty good performance. They're internal drives. Microsoft recommends internal drives, not USB, and we're all set. So let's close out some of these windows and look at what we accomplished. Now, our Core Temp CPU load monitor didn't really spike. File copies are straightforward. We had 0 network activity because it was all done internally. So let's also look at the backups and what happens during the backup. Double click on backups. You can see my backup was successful at 9 o'clock. If I double click on that, it will show me, or a few details, it will show me everything that was done successfully, my operating system, my D and my F drive. Earlier in the evening, I was copying files and moving that video folder. You saw 720 video share folder. So it was unsuccessful in that backup. So anytime you're accessing the files or making folder changes, you will have unsuccessful backups. That's okay as long as the backups after that are successful. In fact, you can see here that during the afternoon, I was moving files, changing, doing videos, and those were unsuccessful during those times when I was home. If I go back, you can see I can go all the way back to actually when I loaded. Even at times when I was copying over the files, they were unsuccessful. You will have unsuccessful backups as long as the ones after that are successful. That's all that really matters. Again, if you're moving folder shares, you would expect that. You can see during the times when I'm asleep, they're all successful because I'm not messing around with Windows Home Server 2011. So we'll click on OK. We'll close this out. We'll do one more quick check on how the drives look. We go to server folders and hard drives, then we click on hard drives. You can see I got my new folder there. Again, I'm backing up my C, my F, and my D drive to my redundant drive. It's a 1 terabyte drive, and it is the recipient of the backups or the extra copies of C, F, and D. Now, at some point, I'm going to get rid of this redundant drive, and I'll get a 2 terabyte drive, and you can see here that I have my 3 terabyte drive that I'm doing some good stuff on, and you will see that in a future video. Check back with usingwindowshomeserver.com for all of your server needs, and I hope you get a chance to download Windows Home Server 2011. Talk to you soon.